All right, lastly, we're going to talk about how you calculate factory overhead. Uh, we've applied it. I've shown you how to apply it, but if you remember the amount, the $150 we applied was just an estimate or just a guess, just a number so we could see how to do it or how to apply it. Here's how we figure out how much we actually need to apply to each job. There's 4 steps. First, estimate the total amount of factory overhead. So on an annual basis, how much do we expect to spend? Make sure you include the rent on the factory or depreciation, include utilities, include indirect labor, indirect materials. Keep in mind that you may pay, for example, you may pay rent on your factory, but the total rent may also include your office. You want to split that out. You could split it by square footage, how much is used by the factory, and use that percentage of the cost to calculate the factory overhead. Just keep in mind, not everything you spend should be in factory overhead, but a lot of what you spend should be. So once you've estimated that total amount for the year, and I do recommend you take some significant time to get to that figure, you want it as accurate as possible. You then estimate the total direct labor hours that you expect to have in a year. Now, if you do budgeting, this is a great tool. You should have that number already. If you don't do budgeting, you'll want to look at previous years, look at what you expect to do this year, how long does it typically take you to do the work volume that you expect. Then you'll divide the total annual factory overhead by the total annual direct labor hours. You'll get a rate, and you apply that rate based on the number of hours in each job. Now, here's an example. If your expected factory overhead for the year is $318,000, your total direct labor hours that you expect are 24,000. You divide the 318 by the 24, and you get $13.25. And what that's telling you is you have $13.25 of factory overhead per direct labor hour. So if your job takes 20 direct labor hours, you simply multiply that 20 by your rate of $13.25. The job gets $265 of factory overhead applied to it. As I said, in our example, we applied the $150 just as a number. If that job actually took 20 hours, and these were our expected costs, the $265 is what would have been applied. Now keep in mind this is an estimate. You're estimating factory overhead and direct labor hours for an entire year. So, like I said, take some time. Make sure you have those numbers as accurate as possible, because it does make a difference when you're talking about using this information to be able to quote jobs, be able to be competitive. You want to be as accurate as possible.